All right, so the year is 2069. What a nice time we're having here in Major League Baseball. Back with another Out of the Park 22 video. In this video, I have simmed ahead to the year 2069 from present-day MLB to see what would happen. I showed you a video. My last video had some of the details of what happened between 2021 and 2069, and then I asked you for your questions. And so I'm going to go through parts of the sim that people wanted to know about in terms of what happened. And first up, we have Darnell's question. Darnell wanted to know about, were there any good two-way players? And so I think the best way to do this would be to go to retired and active players, and then we can go to their career, and let's go to all batters and look at pitching stats. Let's just look at WAR. So Guy Hecker he's a real life guy. Let's see, are any of these? So we've got a two-way player here, Shawn Campbell. In 2068, he put up 3.6 WAR as a hitter with a 145 WRC plus, and he also started 32 games. Now, if you remember, the AL took away the DH, so that's how he's able to start 136 games in the field and 32. So he really didn't have days off, I guess, right, is what I'm trying to say. So, I mean, this is probably the best two-way player, I would imagine. What's this guy's story? So he's always been... He seems to be a better pitcher than hitter, but still a very good hitter. I mean, actually, a 130 WRC plus, pretty good. He's hit his career high is 27 home runs. He's made 4 All-Star games. He's won 2 Silver Sluggers at pitcher. Obviously, he won them. So, yeah, I don't know if we're going to get much better than that. That guy didn't do much. I guess we could look at all pitchers and look at hitting stats. Let's just go by home runs to start. So we've got Ohtani here, who is retired. So these are his pitching stats. He did not do much as a pitcher. So he went to the White Sox, and his best year was a 2-WAR year as a pitcher. Now, batting stats, not a good career for Mr. Ohtani. I mean, it's not bad, but it's very mediocre / average. A 101 WRC plus, really just the definition of average here with the bat. Really was never a full-time player, probably because he was pitching. But really, his bat seldom warranted regular playing time. I mean, he had this one really good year here, where in 281 plate appearances, he put up 161 WRC plus. So let's see. Walter Ford. Who was this guy? So this was a draft pick in 2023. Where'd you go, Walter? So he never really pitched, though. I mean, he made 6 appearances as a pitcher over 3 different seasons. I'm missing something here that he's up here with 235 career home runs. What? Oh, so this is all levels? Nah, this should have been just like MLB. Okay, that was quite confusing. I didn't mean to do that. If I did, normally the default just has it to MLB. We got this guy, yeah, but I think Campbell is your best two-way player. You also want to know about some of the expansion teams in terms of like their best players. So the Albuquerque Quakes came in. They just came into the league. All right, well, their history is not really worth looking at. The Austin Emperors, I think, they were somebody moved. So they're not expansion. So here's the Barracudas. They came in 2023. Let's see who their all-time batting leaders are. So let's see, home runs. Let's go by, or let's look at WAR. Is Isaac Moore, who is a guy who entered the league in 2031. So that he's probably the best. He's the best hitter in in Barracuda's history. Home runs. Oops, let's go to this. Isaac Moore as well. Oh, Isaac, is it Pacheco? This is a real life prospect. Christian Pache is fifth on their triples list. So yeah, Dalton Blair is in all caps. All right, so that's the Barracudas. The Silverbacks, that's the Reds moved. The El Paso Hornets entered in 2041. Oops, that's not what we want. Let's look at their batting leaders. WAR. Jose De Leon, who entered the league in 2051 and racked up 471 home runs. He had a 10 WAR season. That was an MVP year for him as well. On the pitching side of things in El Paso, let's see what we have for WAR. Brad Gordon, of course, Brad Gordon. Looks like an okay pitcher. Had one super good year. So that's the Hornets. This is the Royals. Let's take a look at one more team. So the Indianapolis Snappers have been in since 2057. And their WAR leader is Chris Nilsson with 23.2. And he's still there. Yeah, he's been a very solid player for them. Been a very good player for them. Let's look at who their best pitcher is as well, according to WAR. Brian Stamps with 12.7. He's now in Texas, so he left. So he came into San Francisco, and then he was traded to the Snappers and became the best pitcher in the short history of the franchise. So that's some of the expansion teams there for you, Darnell. All things gaming want to know something about the Cardinals, like their World Series and key players. So let's go ahead to the St. Louis Cardinals. And so World Series after 2021, they won 2031, and that was in the middle of a really good run for them where they made the postseason like 8 years in a row. And then they had a really good run here from 2045 to 2055. They only missed once, and they won 2 more World Series. And then they made the playoffs 2 more. So let's take, like, what was this team like? The 2031 team, the WAR leader was it Mizell or Urbina? Vlad's down there too. So Urbina was drafted. Oh, so this is a real life guy. He's an international free agent signed by the Twins, and he was traded to the Orioles, and then he made his way to the Cardinals in a trade for Dylan Carlson in 2026. It sent Carlson to the Orioles. It also looks like Vlad Guerrero was on this team. Oh, Phillies legend. For those of you who watched my Phillies sim, you might remember Rock Riggio, a prospect. Paul DeYoung was still there in 2031. Oh, he left and came back, and at the age of 37, put up 2.9 WAR. Nice. Yeah, so that's their team batting stats. Their player stats here. Pitching, not too many real guys here. Eldridge is there, a couple others, but Gratterall. But this guy was their best pitcher for that year, and he really wasn't even that great. So that's a little bit about the Cardinals. So Hobbit Avenger wanted to know about the Mariners, who you pointed out still did not win a World Series. Still did not win a World Series. And then the 2023 Rangers. So let's look at the positional starters by year for the Mariners here, who are still starved for a World Series. So, all right, so it looks like Torrens was here for a while, Luis Torrens, and he was okay. He was a catcher for a while. Evan White stuck around for a while and never really, I don't know why. I mean, okay, these 2 seasons are okay, but man, after like these 2 seasons, you should be gone as a first baseman with a league average bat. Get out of here. I know he plays a Gold Glove first base, and then they let him stick around for 2 more years where he was just atrocious. No wonder they're not going to the World Series. Roster decisions like this. Looks like, is that Brady House? So Brady House in this was drafted by the Orioles in 2021. And then and then he got traded in 2024 to the Mariners. And what kind of career did he have? He had 2 really good seasons and then never really did anything again. And then he retired at the age of 30. Wow. Crazy. All right. That was Brady House's career. So Marte was here at shortstop for a while and was good. Solid. Kelnick was not around. Oh, well, no, he was around for a while. And he put up a 7.9 WAR season in 2030. He made 4 All-Star teams. He retired in 2034. He got 1.4% of the Hall vote in his only year that he was on the ballot. But a 123 WRC plus, 274 home runs. Not a bad career from Jarrett Kelnick. Taylor Trammell is here. Oh, he had a really great career year here at the age of 26, and then just kind of trailed off. And his career with a 100 WRC plus, exactly league average hitter in his career. Kyle Lewis, what did he end up doing? Not a lot is the answer. An 86 WRC plus, 89 OPS plus. Julio Rodriguez. So looks like he had a lot of really good seasons. One otherworldly season here in 2028 with a 7.6 WAR, 51 home runs, 124 runs. And then he left for New York, and he played several seasons in New York, a couple in D.C., played one out in Portland, ended up with 548 home runs, 2,423 hits, 62.3 WAR. He won an MVP award in 2028. So pretty solid career from Julio there. Oh, Phillies fans will recognize Tommy DeLandry here, who was drafted in this draft by the Brewers in the second round. I believe he was the second-round pick of my Phillies in the 2021. I drafted him. He didn't really do much. So, yeah, so that's kind of like the present-day guys. This guy was around forever. He's still their second baseman. Who is this guy? Cesar Silva. So this is a guy that they... Okay, so the Phillies signed him to a $5 million international free agent deal, and then he was traded to the Mariners in 2055, and he came up in 2058, and yeah, he's been a really good player. Some down years, some awesome years, but a 116 WRC plus over 1,500 plus starts. That's a pretty good player. So you also want to know about the 2023 Rangers. Let's get into them. So let's do it this way. The 2023 Rangers won the World Series. They were an 87-win team that finished in first place with a Pythagorean of 80 and 82. Won the World Series. Oh, that's funny. That had to be maddening for some of the other teams. So what did their offense look like on this 2023 team? Josh Jung led the way with 4.3 WAR. They had Javier Baez. Did they sign Baez as a free agent when he... Where is this? Oh, yeah. April. So signed a one-year contract. Oh, so he accepted the qualifying offer after the 2021 season, then became a free agent, then went to Texas on a 7-year, $83.1 million deal. Got it. Okay. David Dahl was there. Josh Jung. Oh, we already said him. Sorry. Garcia put up 3.5 WAR. Their pitchers. Let's see what their pitchers did. So Arihara put up 3.8 WAR. Kumar Rocker was there. So how did Rocker enter? Oh, they drafted him second overall in 2021. Okay, cool. So that's the 2023 Rangers. Grayson wanted to know about the Detroit Tigers, which I'll gladly show. My wife is a Tigers fan, so always happy to shed a little light on them. So the Tigers, let's see what they did here in this sim. So they didn't make the postseason until 2029, and they won the World Series. They didn't make it again until 2035. They had a really good run here. Oh, they've actually been really good since like 2044. I mean, look at this run. Oh, wait, I'm not at the bottom. Never mind. So they had a good run from like 2044 to 2061. They only missed the postseason, 5 times, and they won a World Series. That's pretty impressive. You also wanted to know about a couple Tiger prospects in real life. Riley Green came up, and he played with them through age 28. He was really good as a Tiger. He had a 120 OPS plus, 123 WRC plus as a Tiger. In his career, he put up 190 home runs. Not a huge power guy, but a 271, 361, 444 slash line. Yeah, I mean, he had a good career. 5.1 WAR was his career high. He went to Boston and then finished out his career and retired at the age of 33 in Portland. Did not receive any votes for the Hall when eligible. So let's look up Torque. Torque. I thought you. There he is. So Torque here in 2021. Oh man, really disappointing career for him. He only spent 4 years in Detroit. Was not very good. He had a really good season here, his first season in Chicago when he got out of Detroit, and he had 40 home runs. He hit a lot of home runs, but a 92 OPS plus, 92 WRC plus, so he's really a below league average hitter, but 400 home runs, almost 2,000 hits, but a 228 average, 297 on base, a 424 slug. So it could have been better for old Torque there. Eduardo wanted to know about Richard Caballero, I think it is, who was a guy who was unanimously elected to the Hall of Fame. Oh no, I spelled his name wrong. Okay, let's go to the league history and look at the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I do remember this guy. Here he is. 2067 elected with 100% of the vote. Oh, did I not show you guys this guy? I meant to in the last video. So he was a Braves guy. The Braves signed him as an international free agent out of the Dominican Republic in the year 2036. He made to the majors at the age of 21 in 2041. Led the league in runs a whole bunch of times. Led the league in WRC plus a couple times. Led the league in WAR once. He won an MVP. He won 4 Gold Gloves. He made the All-Star game approximately 73,000 times, it appears. Spent his whole career in Atlanta, which is cool, and didn't retire. He retired at the age of 41. He had 584 home runs, 1,981 RBI, a WRC plus of 143, 3,350 hits, a career 384 on base percentage. Yeah, that's a good player. 100% of the vote from Richard Caballero, a run-scoring machine who also hit for a lot of power. So there you are, Edward. So then Liam wanted to know about the Red Sox and also wanted to know about a few of their prospects or real-life players now, how they turned out. So the Red Sox... So they were very good here from 2024 to 2034. They made the postseason all but 2 years, no World Series, and then they kind of fell off. But then they came back. They won a World Series in 2045, made the postseason a bunch in the 40s and 50s. And then the 60s, not as kind of them, 3. So they made 3 postseason appearances in the 60s. Yeah, so let me look up. I think you want to see Tristan Casas. So, he had some real down years. He ended up with 345 home runs, exactly 1,000 RBI, 1,336 hits, slightly above league average with the bat with a 107 WRC plus. Yeah, I mean, he had a couple really solid years here. And then, man, towards the end of his career was just really fell off. You want to know about Mr. Devers? I'm always curious about him as well. This is one of the cornerstones of my fantasy baseball team, which I know you all care about deeply. So Devers, well, this is a little bit disappointing based off of how good I think Devers is and could end up being. Just a 109 WRC plus, 387 home runs, 2,292 hits. He stayed in Boston through the 2023 season, then left for Detroit, Cleveland, went back to Detroit, Cleveland, yeah, and then went back to Detroit, yeah, and then finished up in L.A. But a bit of a disappointing career, I would say, for Devers based off of his current real life trajectory. You also want to know about it's Marcelo Mayer, right? Got his name wrong. That's awesome. Is it Meyer? Nailed it. Crushed it. So again, this was started at the beginning of the 2021 season. So he was drafted 3rd overall by the Tigers. So he did not end up with the Red Sox in this. But he had a decent career. He had a decent career through age like 28, and then like tanked his career numbers here. Brought his WRC plus down to 104. He ended up with 272 home runs, 1,020 RBI, just shy of 2,000 hits. So not an amazing career for old Mr. Mayer there. And did he get any Hall votes? He got 4.2% of the vote in 2048, and then fell off the ballot. So that does it here for your questions. I'm happy to do another video if there are more questions in the next more questions in the comments of this video. I can try to do another video, but that'll do it for this time. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.